What's up guys, Wraec is here with a new video, and today I experimented a little bit with the new artifact. The artifact is called Shieldnova spell. You can find it right here in the season milestones, and this one I was kind of immediately hooked, I have to say, because when Baelran was released, who by the way at this point is P3 on my account, which I absolutely love, P3 plus 25, not sure if we can do P4. 6 more copies, kind of a long way. Would love to, obviously. Crown Baelran seems cool. But not sure yet if we're going to do it or if we're going to keep him at P3 like Athalia. I think it's a good spot, honestly, for like a Celestial Hypergene hero to be there. Is like good rivalry stats. But about that, when Baelran was released, we were kind of experimenting with this artifact. It was called Light Call Spell, and what it does is it provides heal, which is pretty cool, and it also provides vitality. And vitality as a stat is rather nice for Baelran, and Baelran can make big use of it. You can find the stat right there, should be, there it is. This actually increases the effectiveness of units received shields and healing, so makes it a whole lot easier to heal Baelran back up, and also makes it a whole lot easier to defend him on the way there. So you can give him like huge shields, heal him up in the background behind the shield, and kind of give yourself an easier time with that. Which is why vitality on him and vitality artifacts in combination with him have done very, very well for me. A lot of the times better than other artifacts actually. So the problem then was there aren't actually too many. So if you go through here, you have Life Drain a few times. I mean, Light Call we already talked about. Then we have this one. Yeah, there's really not much going on in terms of vitality until, well, the start of this week really, which is today. What a weird way to say that. Well, that doesn't matter. Today we got the Shieldnova spell, and this one features death penetration, this one features physical and magic death, and it features vitality. So this is pretty cool. Even a little bit higher vitality you can see there than our Light Call spell. Light Call spell, we have to say, has the advantage of healing our heroes. Shieldnova is a little bit different. Basically the idea is that whenever you lose a certain amount of shields, total shield value lost reaches 750% of team attack. Hard to measure really. I mean, you put shields on your heroes, they lose it, and then stuff happens. So that is really the way I approached it. There is an explosion, 80% of team attack in form of fist damage, and we can see also if an ally's shield expires at full duration, that shield's remaining value also contributes to charging this spell, and is counted as 40% more than the same amount of shield loss. Have to say, horrible description, really horrible description. I'm still not entirely sure if they just mean, okay, the shield duration ran out, but they say full duration, or if it's broken. Is a little bit weird, I have to say. But what I did was I took it into PvP. And this was the team that I tried. The idea was, once again, let's combine shields. Let's do shield stuff. So we have Baelran over here. We used the combination with Diamond that we had before. Diamond has this ability that is fairly nice, of course, of healing him. And then also with the bond, that whenever Diamond gains a shield, the bonded ally also receives a shield. And then we also have the, I think it is the Supreme Plus ability, yeah. When an allied hero shield expires, converts 50% of the remaining shield value into healing for that hero. So we can heal our heroes by letting them have shields and letting those shields expire. And that was what we combined with Scarlita, and Scarlita has this great ability that allows her not only to protect the allies here with an enormous amount of fist death, but also weakest ally always gets a shield, and that is always Baelran. So this is a massive shield, expires after 3 seconds, and then Baelran gets a heal. And then I thought, okay, which other heroes do we need? Well, obviously King of Shields, Hugin on the team, just needed to be there. And then I put Kellan in there. Kellan actually has a pretty huge shield, and also protects the Hugin a little bit, and that I thought was rather nice. And then I tried different fights. Obviously here we are at the Paragon advantage, we can still try that. I tried against other players too. It is a little bit wonky. Always happens in my opinion whenever you have like those mixes with like one hero P4 and then there are some Supreme Plus hero, and every time you see this bluish wave there, the bluish wave, we will watch the replay of course, the bluish wave that goes over the screen, that is the Shieldnova. We'll give it a second, there it should come now. there, and there we have the Shieldnova. And you can always see like the damage that the enemies actually take, and it's not quite that bad damage. The question is it worth it? But you see, that was pretty decent. That was pretty nice damage. Sometimes you see it like hit enemy Chimera and not to really do anything, but it can deal pretty substantial damage. One more time, just to see it. It can deal very, very substantial damage. So not too bad, actually kind of interesting to have an offensive option together with like shields. Problem is, I always want to build like a team around like such an ability, around an artifact, because I think it's kind of a cool thing to do. Building that around an artifact and going ahead and kind of using something like this. And then I notice, well, Siren does exist. And then you go into a fight against like Siren, and it all again works out way worse than you thought. And yeah, it's a little bit less fun. But we get the charge up here. It just doesn't really trigger, so I guess it's not super bad. At a certain point you still get the trigger to go through, so there we have it. It is not that bad, I think, because like we can watch it again. I think like it pretty much starts from at the beginning, and then you have like a pretty tanky team, such as we had there, and yeah, starts like right at the beginning. So it does collect it, it just doesn't trigger until Siren's ability runs out. And once Siren's ability runs out, we immediately get the hit from the ability. So there first the ult, and then we actually finish the Siren off with that. And then again and instantly the next one. So it's really not too bad damage, and especially on such a shield team here with the Callum protecting us, really not too bad. 2.5 mil there on the enemy. I think you can do something with it. I really think so. I really think it could be interesting to kind of try a combination with this, kind of try to make a more tanky team. And this, of course, is like is definitely improvable. There are a lot of things that you can do here that could be fairly interesting. I mean, you could go maybe even a little bit more Graveborn. This is huge potential to be developed towards a Graveborn skill. You already have Diamond and Callum on there. Maybe you just take the Hugin out, put another hero in there. Haven't really thought too much about who would be cool for that. But if I think about shields and Graveborn, well, then actually one hero comes to mind that sadly on my account is not too established, but that is Salazar. Salazar was a hero we briefly tried on the Pioneer server and is actually pretty cool, because while he has like pretty cool ability, a little bit of CC, fairly decent damage, he now also has an Enhanced Force level 2. He got that in the last season, was pretty much overlooked. We got him in a few videos where he was very tanky. Very tanky. And this is basically this. Salazar increases the damage of Spirit Shackles, that is one of his abilities, and each time an enemy that he has previously imprisoned is defeated, grants him a shield equal to 100% of that enemy's max HP, lasts for 15 seconds, and is up to 1500% of Salazar's attack, so not too bad in terms of shield, pretty huge shield actually, and so you could just use that instead of Hugin. Wouldn't not really give you the same shield all over your team, but still fairly decent, I reckon. And this then actually gives you the Graveborn skill. The Graveborn skill again has a little bit of synergy. It doesn't necessarily say so, because for whatever the reason, they avoided a little bit of the word shield at the beginning at least. It says when the battle starts, Primary Carrier sacrifices 60% of HP to gain a 90% of caster's HP soul barrier. It lasts until the battle ends, at the end of the battle. And while the soul barrier is active, it increases the Primary Carrier's damage dealt by 24% and damage taken gets reduced. So we have a wonderful source of damage taken reduction here, which is fairly nice. We have further buffs down the line, which are pretty cool. We have vitality reduction for the enemy. All of that is in here. And in practice, if we go into let's say for example a talent trials here, I set this up already. Let's swap this guy a little bit more over here. The Salazar is a little bit prone to dying, I'll be honest. But you can see we have the Graveborn field here. Our Baelran is standing on there. Has the diamond connected to him, and we can just start this right here. You can see he starts with an absolutely monstrous shield, which is definitely insane. Then goes in there, and then of course the question starts, how quickly can this guy raise to max HP? Is this possible? Can he do it? We get the very valuable Callan stance here actually, and a pretty decent activation rate here off this ability, and then he just got absolutely nuked. But you can see, like, the idea and the theory of just like activating it by that could definitely work. We can maybe try to find a PvP fight for that. Okay, against Mr. Brownie Games Diurnal team here. I tried a little bit against this. It has a Siren, so we have to kind of live with that at the beginning. We can still try and experiment a little bit with the Graveborn skill. Of course, we get the huge shield. What we don't get, and that is really, really annoying, is we don't really get the immunity. And this is also something that we have to point out. And maybe this team was a bad choice to fight against. I want you to keep an eye out for what is happening here. We are actually super high shield, monster shield, but we are low HP. And then we get hit by Diurnal's ability, that is his Mythic Plus ability for gaining 3 buffs, which this team also aims towards. And that means we just got absolutely nuked through that shield. So while this wasn't probably the best fight, and congrats to Shrimp for actually overtaking Brownie, insane, it still showed one thing. Well, shield is cool, there is now a lot of true damage. Diamond, Chimera, Diurnal still. I mean, even Baelran to that extent, a lot of true damage, so it is definitely difficult. Okay, this one I gotta show you. Against full P4 Diurnal team, we are fighting here. With our team, this time I put Nero in there, just because, well, with Baelran it's an extra heal and we're fighting full P4, so I wanted to juice up our Paragon a little bit. You can see we get the heals there on Baelran. Start there activating our Celestial Form again, going into the Shield Burst activating, Diurnal hitting us now, but we have actually, look at that, we have full HP with the HP buff in our Celestial Form, and we have 50% of our max HP is shield still. So we just had an absolutely humongous amount of HP there on this Baelran. And you have to kind of understand how much HP this Baelran just had in this situation, which is pretty fancy with this Graveborn stuff. I don't know, it is not cool in every situation, but you see, like this guy, he has 2,400 million HP. And then at the start of the battle, he gets a 300% bonus. So he actually is at 9,600 million HP, and we had the same amount of shield on top of that, bringing us to like 19.2 billion HP total, which is, yeah, mad. And kind of explains at the same time why this Diurnal had no chance. Because that was, of course, also a major difference. Brownie's Diurnal destroyed us with the Mythic Plus ability, which deals true damage. The ult doesn't really do that. It deals physical by default, so really that doesn't go bypass the shield, so we can make use of our super big shield. Then, of course, Nero with his new enhanced force here, which also heals us and can upgrade Diamond a little bit, because we play Diamond, so it's kind of nice synergy there as well. And we have the Graveborn skill on him, still running Chimera. For actually, if we were to fight without this skill, it would even be a full 5 out of 5 faction bonus. So it is fairly fancy on that regard. And I have to say, it's kind of impressive how insanely tanky Baelran is. With this combination though, one weakness we see right at the start of the battle, that is really like how low Baelran gets, because he reduces his HP even further, so you're even more prone to immediate true damage. But if it works out, yeah, it's kind of cool. And the new artifact, I like it actually. I like it. I mean, we're doing some damage here. We're now getting extra damage. We're getting pretty huge AoE damage. This enemy was just finished off. The Smokey was just finished off by actually the ult. And we see it here triggering all the time, really. The Diamond's still alive. The Scalita's still alive. And now Baelran comes out and one-shots the Dino. Absolutely insane. So I really like this. I think it's a cool team. Don't necessarily know if it's really meta. I find it kind of hard in AFK Journey to test such stuff, because you fight a team like this, I mean, it's a little bit off meta, let's be real about this. There's some pretty cool heroes. The Dunlinger crown is absolutely insane. But like I probably wouldn't run Smokey in PvP. So there is some potential definitely for improvement. And then on my side, you fight kind of the Scalita, which ideally for a PvP team at this Paragon level, you would want at least P3, I reckon. But you can't just wail for a P3 Scalita, like just for one team to try it once, just doesn't work out. So yeah, a lot of stuff, a lot of like kind of impulses that I wanted to give to you guys. Maybe you want to try it out. Maybe you want to give Baelran a chance. Maybe you want to give the new artifact a chance. Both of which I think are fairly cool. It's a pretty decent damage potential. It's like a nice niche artifact with skills that in general benefit our wonderful hero Baelran because we have the vitality there. This triggers quite a lot. And for PvP is pretty decent damage. So I could see that. I could see that work out for shield heavy teams, for people that want to use Hugin, for people that maybe want to build a little bit with Baelran, want to make use of the Gravebond skill. I can see that. I can see that work out. So overall, definitely an artifact that I would recommend. We can increase the damage here even more. Plus 30 effect I don't remember, sadly. Could be interesting. There is also still the plus 30 effect. People forget about this because they do no longer show it right here. Plus 30 effect for all of the artifacts will be revealed later for phase 3. So that's another thing. Lastly, quick shout out to our sponsor Lootbar. You can buy the cheapest dragon crystals right here at Lootbar. For AFK journey, I recommend the lock-in top-up. Use that myself. If you go through the link in the description, you should get some nice discount coupons that will make the purchases at Lootbar even cheaper. It will make it so much easier to buy the packs and the trolley, or maybe some of the new cosmetics. And then before we end it, a few words. I was really demotivated recently, I have to say. There were a few days right now where we didn't really see any videos on this channel. Thing was, it was really hot in my home country, and I was like, there's not really anything to show anyway, so I just thought, okay, let's just not do it. You have to understand, YouTube is not my job. I have a regular job. It's just a hobby, and with those season phases, I have to say, a lot of the motivation has gone a little bit out of the window, so I only really do videos at the moment when I do enjoy them, and for this artifact and like the experimenting with Baelran, I thought, okay, that is something cool. And for the Easter eggs, of course, if you haven't seen this video, those videos yet, we made a series about all the Easter eggs, every single title that you can find, every single Easter egg you can cover. So 3 videos there on my channel, so definitely check those out as well. Other than that, maybe let me know down in the comments what you think about the season phases. Would really care about that, because I might make a video about it. I don't know. It depends a little bit on the community sentiment. I think people don't necessarily like it. I don't necessarily like it, but we could go a little bit more in depth. If you are interested in that, then hit me up with a comment down below. And other than that, I wish you a great day. We'll see us in the next one.